That was obviously a successful trip west. How's the feeling after the review?
Yeah, no, it was really good. I thought it was pretty mature win by the boys. 4 quarters again, which was pleasing, and a crowd that 50,000 people supporting West Coast and Josh Kenny. So it was a great experience for the boys.
You must have been happy with how the forward line fired, especially Fogg in that last quarter.
Yeah, Fogg was great, kicking 3 goals under pressure and taking those marks and taking some time off the clock. So yeah, again, a very mature performance by Fogg and really stood up for us.
What's been the catalyst for change for Fogg? I feel like 12 weeks ago he was halfway. People had him moving to Brisbane, and now he's turned into.
Well, just the confidence, and I'm not sure. Probably have to ask Darcy what clicked with him, but we've been working on the same things, especially since I've been here, and he's just all put it into place. He's going at the footy a lot better. No more wrestling and jumping at the ball. So that's probably the pleasing thing. And then his second and third efforts on the deck, which we've always thought was a strength of his. So yeah, I think it's just a mindset and confidence with him.
Has he shown? Sorry, Josh.
I was just going to say fitness as well. Do you think the rival of Burjo has sort of been a bit understated in that part of his game?
Possibly, but I reckon it's been over 2 years. He put in a pretty good pre-season last year as well. But yeah, and then he's taken it to another level this year, and I think you see that. There's no doubt he's outworking his opponents at times, which is why he's getting a little bit more of the footy.
Has he shown that now that there's a clear succession plan for Tex, that he's now can fill that number 1 forward role?
Whether it's number 1, I'm not so sure. We work as a team, but there's no doubt he's definitely standing up at the right times, and I've got no doubt he'll probably take the best defender at times as well. Hopefully, or maybe this year as well.
How does he hand that, do you think, Ralph? The best defender, a bit more attention?
I think he's super confident in his ability now, which we've spoken about, and I think it wouldn't matter. I think his ability to compete in the air and on deck makes him pretty hard to play against.
He had a good couple of years, showed promise. You arrived, and now all of a sudden he's gone off the charts. I mean, it's well done to you, really.
No, it's not. It's not. It has taken his time as well. Look, he improved a little bit last year, and then I thought he was going to go from round 1 onwards, and he didn't. He still struggled a little bit early this year, but he's put the hard work in. And he's just been a lot harder to play against in all facets of the game, to be honest.
And in terms of the forwards that you've worked with, I mean, clearly you share your time with all the guys, but spending a bit more time with Darcy, is his leap forward, probably as big a leap that anyone's taken at the club this year, do you think?
Probably, yeah. I still think Shane's jumped a fair bit as well, and that's, again, his fitness levels and his ability to outwork his opponent. Probably Fogg he's jumped pretty well. And again, it's just his ability to win contests. He's defending ball well. He's getting a high number of tackles as well. So it's all facets of his game that he's been able to improve.
So what does Darcy playing like this do to your forward line and to your team more broadly?
Well, I suppose it's again, who do they match up on? I suppose Tex was a bit quieter on the weekend. Darcy stood up, but there's going to be times where Tex is playing well, Fogg's playing well. We've either got Elliott or Riley there as well. So they're pretty hard to match up on the air. And then our ability to win ground ball is pretty strong in that area as well.
Tex probably played one of his quieter games for the season, do you think? After such a big week at the football club, maybe everything affected in how he played?
Look, I can't speak for him possibly, but I think he just had to focus on Barras a little bit too much. He had a really good game against Barras, and then he took a few intercept marks, and I think Tex at times probably worried about the body a little bit more instead of just going at the footy, which is pretty simple, and it's what Darcy's doing really well. So we actually got Barras out of the way a little bit early. He sort of sacrificed his role, Tex, and we got the ball to Darcy, so that worked okay as well.
How did the boys, in your opinion, handle the emotion of the week? A lot going on externally. You had, Laddie's 200th and JK's send-off as well in front of a big crowd. How do you think they all sort of pulled up and handled the week emotionally?
Yeah, I thought they did it fair. I thought the mature win showed how well they handled it. Look, I think Laddie's 200th was a great focus. I think it was a week of Ladd. We had about 5 videos of him, different separate videos. But no, it was really good. And then, to get to the ground and hear that crowd, which were pretty loud at times, and obviously JK kicking 8, and it seemed like every time they kicked inside forward, he was marking it. So, again, just really proud of the boys that they could pull through.
Do you think? I was just going to say, as a forward coach, with the prospect of trying to squeeze one Isaac Rankin into that forward 6, would that excite you in a hypothetical world?
I've watched Isaac. I watched him in the juniors. Obviously, good player, but yeah, I can't comment on that.
Will we see Phil Thorpe and Rahilly this week, potentially?
Well, Josh pulled up a little bit sore, so we'll wait and see on Josh. Yeah, Riley definitely a chance. Jumped at the ball pretty well. Unfortunately, just had some back spasms, so we'll see how he pulls up with that. But look, we haven't changed the team. We didn't change the team last week, and we've had a pretty good performance, so there's a chance we mightn't change it again.
Australian run for Josh. How's he handled that slight setback?
Yeah, for such a great start, I haven't seen someone come in and play like that with Josh. He is ready to go, like his body is ready to go as far as his age. He just had a bit of a hiccup at times with his hip, so we'll see how that pulls up. Yeah.
Is it the same hip? Right?
Yeah, same hip.
Same issue?
Same issue, but I think, yeah, they haven't got a scan yet, so I think Burjo's going to comment on that later, but yeah, it looks like the same hip.
Is it more about what next year looks like for Josh and maybe even Riley now? Do you take a holistic approach and go, it's more, there's not a great sense of need to rush?
Probably not so much for Riley. Josh possibly. We'll see how he goes and see how he pulls up. So he's still a chance to come back. He can't play SANFL finals though. Neither can Riley. So it'll be about their ability to get back in the AFL. But no, Riley's still definitely a possibility.
How's Will Hamill at the moment? Is there some concerns about how many knocks he's had?
Yeah, no doubt. The club are doing their utmost with Will. They're meeting with him and he'll go through the protocols now, but I know Mark Cessna's working really hard with him, and yeah, there is some work to go on with Will going forward.
No, he's probably done for the year.
Possibly, yeah. Again, I think Burjo's going to have a meeting about that, and they're discussing that now. But yeah, well, obviously his health is priority.
I know you weren't here, Riles. Sorry, Kibby. Yeah, I know you weren't here the last couple of years, but how did you find the scrutiny of last week and the things that you'd heard about, 2018? Yep. What was your experience like when it all started to come out?
Yeah, look, I haven't really had much to do with it, and I really probably have to leave that to management. I just can't say enough from my time internally how well the boys have handled it. We are there to support them as much as possible for the ones that have been around for that time. But look, the week was handled really well, and hopefully we can continue for the next 2 weeks.
Did any of them ask you for support?
No, not personally. I don't know many of the guys in the forward line were here. Obviously Tex was, but he seems to be handling it really well. So, but I'm sure there's definitely avenues for support, and the club have reached out to them.
They said last night, the club, that you can't change the past, but can definitely learn from it. You talk about your experience here. Do you feel like it was a bit of a catalyst and an opportunity for the group to learn and have now implemented that in the years after?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, there's a lot of change around management, but I think I like the letter that was said. Our ability to learn from that and now listen. So I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Last couple.
I was just going to ask one on Will. Do you look at Paul Season and the situation with him? He went to a specialist in Melbourne. Does the club now have to take that probably same approach with Will?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's at that level, but there's definitely things they'll have to put in place to see how we can help Will as much as possible, because, yeah, obviously head knocks and the health is crucial.
How'd you celebrate the 200 for Laird? Did you have a few tubes afterwards?
No, well, Lairdy might have. No, we didn't, but the boys all got together and went out for dinner for Lairdy, and I think we're going to go out for dinner again for him on after the North Melbourne game. So, yeah, it's the 2 weeks of lead. 2 weeks of lead, yeah.